Hello everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. I'm going to be playing in Day 2, Draft 1 of the Arena Open. So if you've never seen one of these before, to get through the first draft, to get to the second draft, you need to go 3-1 or better. I'm going to play 4 matches with this deck regardless of record. 4-0 would obviously be the best record, and then 3-1 would make me live for the second draft. You basically have 1 loss to give over the course of the day in this. So if I pick up 2 losses with this deck, I won't get to draft a second time. Yeah. That's a very good rare. Best 3 cards in this pack are definitely black. Between a Yara, Halo Forager, and Final Flourish. Outside of that, there's not really much to be excited about. The next best card, honestly, might just be Angelic Intervention. I'm going to take Ayara. It's single-colored, and I think it's better than Final Flourish. I don't know what the numbers would say on that, but this does give you... This is like a cheap card that also gives you a lot of late-game power, which is a pretty good combination. What does this pack have to offer? We've got a Final Flourish and an Elvish Vat Keeper. The rare was taken out of the pack. I think I'm just going to go with Final Flourish to stay black rather than going into black-green. Wouldn't mind drafting black-green, but I want to stay a little bit more open. We have Render Inert. I'm not excited about that one. There's also the Alabaster Host Sanctifier. Not really excited about that one either. Or Converter Beast. I think those are my 3 choices. This is a pretty weak pack. Render Inert, I'm picking it 3rd. That's a very high spot to be picking it, but this pack just doesn't have a good 3rd pick in it. I think I'm going to pick Render Inert because it's so early on in the draft. Maybe I can, get some stuff that will make me excited to play with Render Inert. If not, I doubt I'm going to wind up missing an Alabaster Host Sanctifier or a Consuming Aetherborn. All right, a second Render Inert. No, thank you. I think this is a pretty easy Gift of Completion. Maybe we can get into like a Phyrexian-based deck. So I'm sure this thing turns into a Phyrexian, but it is an Elf Noble initially. I've never had it come up with Invasion of Lorwyn that I couldn't kill Ayara. I have had it come up multiple times with Glissa, though. It can be kind of annoying. I guess there's 4 cards that jump out to me here. Fearless Scald, which is pretty good, but it is a 5-drop. Lithomantic Barrage, which I think I would take Fearless Scald above Lithomantic Barrage. There's also Etched Familiar, which is just kind of general filler. And there's Alabaster Host Intercessor, which is appealing just because the kind of Phyrexian theme is most prevalent in white-black. I think I'm going to take that for now. Firja. I feel like I'm channeling Reed Duke with this draft. Just keep picking black cards and mediocre black-white cards. I think I am going to pick Firja over Elspeth's Smite. I think Angelic Intervention might be better than Elspeth's Smite even. But I like having flyers in this format. I like being able to deck myself to a second Firja. Jeez. I'm not going to double up on the Firjas. I'm just going to take cut short. Seems like red is kind of open as well. Do I want Invasion of Regatha? This card really just isn't that good. I'll take cut short. Red is open. I'm going to take a red card here just to hedge in case I want to be red-black instead of black-white. So it's obviously not going to be Burning Sun's Fury. I think it's just going to be Hanger Scrounger. Probably not going to play that one though. So my pack has come back around. 2 black cards were picked out of it. I'm just going to take Flirting Gorilla. Flitting Gorilla. Guess that makes more sense than Flirting Gorilla. Should I take Attentive Skywarden? If I wound up with like a ton of the Phyrexian stuff, this would maybe be good. It's that or Thrashing Frontliner. I think I'll just take the Skywarden. And the Alabaster Host Sanctifier came back around. Should I take Urn of Godfire here or Blossoming Sands? I think I'll take the Blossoming Sands. Guess neither one of those is very likely to make my deck. Ooh. Traxxas Fall. Not the worst card to pick up 14th. Alright, we need some better rares. We're not getting them here. It's like my least favorite rare in the set. You get this gold rare creature and you're like, this is going to be great, and then you read it and you're like, this doesn't seem that good, and you play with it and you're like, yeah, it's not very good. It's all disappointment. I think I'm just going to take Vanquish the Weak here. I'm probably going to wind up in a deck where I'll be happy to play Invasion of New Capenna, but there's a chance it wheels. It's a card that doesn't go in all that many decks. And Vanquish the Weak, I'm guaranteed to just be a solid black card. Captive Weird's probably the best card in the pack, but I'm not going to jump into blue just for it. Emry, just what I wasn't hoping for. I'm just going to take the Blight Reaper Thallid. Just have a cheap card. This isn't going great, but it's not a disaster yet. Do I want Sculpted Perfection, which is kind of one of the reasons that I was thinking that I was drafting this. There's also the Censor and the Realm Breaker's Grasp, which all 3 of those would be fine. I think I'm going to take Sculpted Perfection. I think it's the best card for my deck. And then I'll probably wheel something that, well, there's a decent chance I wheel something I play there. There's 2 really good blue cards in that pack. Okay. Do I want Thalia? I think Thalia is going to wind up being more annoying for my deck than for my opponent's deck necessarily. I could just take Invasion of Olgrotha. or an Angelic Intervention. This is a tough pick. 2/1 First Strike is a nice body. I think I'm going to take Thalia. How much do I want any of these cards? Not very much at all. So do I want Glistening Deluge for my sideboard? Or I could take like a Preening Champion or Volcanic Spite. I'm not very likely to splash either of those. I think I'm just taking Glistening Deluge for my sideboard. Even if this was an 8-person pod draft, which it isn't, I still wouldn't hate draft here. I think Glistening Deluge is just a good enough sideboard card. It's worth taking. Scroll Shift is actually good in these decks sometimes. In white-black specifically, because I'm going to wind up with Sculpted Perfection and Gift of Completion and maybe some other stuff. Probably not going to play the Flitting Gorilla. Okay. Is it possible I get to a place where I'm splashing for the Stormclaw Rager? Probably not, but I'm not going to play Kithkin Billy Rider. Guess I'm just going to take Ichor Shade. I don't hate this card, but I've already got one Land Cycler in my deck, and I don't like playing a lot of them. I was hoping to get something else. What was the other card in this pack I was hoping would wheel? I think it was the Invasion of New Capenna. But I'll take Fabled Conversion. I don't hate playing that card, honestly. It's not great, but it's not the worst. Nothing out of this pack for me. Ooh, Phyrexian Censor came back. Nice. At this point, I'm probably not going to play Render Inert. I haven't gotten any invasions. Wouldn't say this is a good deck yet, but I think if I open, like if I get 2 really good cards out of this next pack, like I open, I don't know, Shieldred, Elesh Norn, something like that. If I can get 1 bomb, and we've done it. We didn't do it. We got nothing. I guess I get Collective Nightmare, which is nice. I was hoping to do better. I guess I'd first pick my rare out of the first pack, even though this is... You can certainly do a lot better than Ayara. This is the one where you get a 2/2 and an Anthem. No thank you. I think I'm just going to take Scornblade Berserker to have a cheap card. It's also just a very good card. The Censor wheeled last time. I'll be happy if it wheels again. I should almost definitely wheel a card from this pack, because I would play Traumatic Revelation, Intervention, or Censor. I might even play Invasion of Belanon, even though it's not a very good card. I could play it. Ooh. Interesting. So there's a Thalia and the Gitrog monster, and I have a Blossoming Sands. But there's also just Phyrexian Awakening, which is going to be really good in my deck. I think I should take Phyrexian Awakening. If I had a little bit more fixing, I would be up for the Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Do I have enough stuff to do anything with that guy? I have 1 card that works with him. Not super excited about this second Phyrexian Awakening. How many 2-drops do I have? I have 5. Yeah, I think the Phyrexian Awakening is more on theme for me. Alright, I'll definitely take an Aetherblade Agent here. Pretty nice pickup. I think it's better than Traumatic Revelation. Second Gift of Completion or a Realmbreaker's Grasp. I'm not a huge fan of Realmbreaker's Grasp. I have a decent amount of removal already. I picked so many of the enchantments that make incubators that I actually think that this Attentive Skywarden is a decent card in my deck. Man, that's a late Glistening Dawn. Is there really no one at the table who's drafting green? It's kind of crazy. So we have an Invasion of New Capenna, which I didn't really actually get much that is good with it. So I'm not going to take that. I'm just going to take a Realmbreaker's Grasp. And here I wield not much. I might play 2 Alabaster Host Intercessors and play 16 land. Angelic Intervention. Probably want to play that. I'm going to have to make a cut or two. I think the Ichor Shade is not going to make the final deck. Probably not the failed conversion either. The second Censor didn't wheel. Somebody picked it. That's a little disappointing, but I don't know that my deck needed another 3-drop. This is the deck. In terms of potential sideboard cards, I've got Glistening Deluge, obviously against white and green decks. Render Inert, which would be against people who have a lot of Incubator tokens. Like people who are playing with Converter Beasts might want this. Failed Conversion would just be somebody has some sort of 4 toughness thing I really want to be able to kill. I've got a decent amount of removal for smaller things. Actually, I just have a decent amount of removal overall. I've got Vanquish the Weak, Collective Nightmare, Cut Short, Final Flourish, Realmbreaker's Grasp, and 2 Alabaster Host Intercessors, which these are, like, Alabaster Host Intercessors, a lot are not the greatest removal ever, but they're okay. Wish I'd, well, I don't know if I'd even want to play. What's Unleash the, whatever the mill 3 get back 2 creatures is called. A lot of my creatures are actually just enchantments. It's too bad I didn't see a second Sculpted Perfection. It's kind of the card that really makes my whole deck work. Do I want to cut this Alabaster Host Sanctifier for something? I don't think so. Like in theory, this guy does turn into a Phyrexian Dog Warrior, so being a Phyrexian's may be cool, but I think that this is just a better card. I'm just going to play it like this. Hopefully I don't have to play against a lot of Preening Champions, because my deck doesn't line up that well against that card. should I do if I don't draw a land next turn? I think I'm going to land cycle rather than play the Gift of Completion. I really want to make my land drops. Could go badly if they have a good spell here. But if they don't have an answer for the 4/4, I'm in a really good spot. Gonna let the spell guy hit me one more time. Just gonna play the Host Sanctifier. And I'll have access to cut short on like the Hangerback Scrounger, but not on the Spell Stalker. This thing's a Phyrexian? I had no idea. This is probably not a good spot to just block with everything, because if they have the Volcanic Spite, they spite this, and then their guy's a 7/7, and I lose the game on the spot, so I'm not going to do that. I don't want to trade the Host Sanctifier here. Are they getting hit already? They have Elspeth's Smite, maybe? I guess actually I can just trade the Host Sanctifier because I can just cut short the Spellstalker this turn. They might have Aerial Boost or Elspeth's Smite. Aerial Boost. They're boosted. They just discarded Zada. Ooh, they're a Zada boost deck. Is that a good card for me? Total are that 4. Yeah, that's a pretty good card. And they're dead. Oh, they're not dead. They can chump. Assuming they don't attack with the Hangerback Scrounger. This isn't a bad attack by them, because from their perspective, they probably need to get the loot and just assume that they're going to be able to trade and live. So they are playing white, but they didn't play very many white creatures. I don't think I want this. I also don't think I want this. It's just too expensive. I don't really care that much about having a removal spell that can kill the Anaki Javelineer. It's probably going to be another land cycle hand. We'll have to see. If I draw a land in my first 2 draw steps, I won't land cycle this. But if I don't, I'll probably want to go land cycle, play this turn 3, this turn 4, and activate it. Opponents want a mulligan. I think I'm going to play Realmbreaker's Grasp this turn. The question is, do I want to cast the Scornblade Berserker? I guess I do. Sometimes if you're patient with this card, you can get better value out of the counter by putting it on something else, but I don't think that's the spot I'm in right now. They didn't even equip the stick. My plan's going to be to incubate and double block the hoplite. It's hard for things to go bad with if I do that. I guess I don't need to do it unless they equip the beat stick. But I didn't crack the Scornblade Berserker 2 turns ago because I wanted to have it so that I could potentially set up a double block. Wouldn't be surprising at all if they have something here, but I'm not really exposing myself very much by blocking like this. I'll probably just wind up sacking the Berserker to draw a card and I'll get a Scry, and they'll have to play their aerial boost or whatever it is they've got in their hand. Angelic Intervention. Sure. I want to sack the Berserker now? I don't even think so. Land wouldn't be a horrible draw. Final Flourish. And that's a fine draw too. We block the same way again. Considering just sacking this thing, I think it's better to keep it around though. This card's kind of annoying. I was getting to the point where I thought I was going to be fine with just double blocking my way through everything they had. I guess if they don't have a land and they put the beat stick on the gremlin this turn, I'm just going to block it. Double block it. Valid. I can get Iara. I can flip Iara and get it going with Scornblade Berserker next turn. Potentially. This is a little bit of a scary board state for me just because their deck is probably capable of some pretty explosive things if we just sit here and they build up a handful of tricks. It'd be nice if I was pressuring their life total more, but that's not what's happening. Those are some good surveils. Tapped the wrong mana. I should have left the white up in case I drew cut down. It's probably not going to matter. I maybe could have. So they're going to kill this, I'm going to sack this, I'm going to get a replacement. Firja. I don't think I would even spend my mana on that. Phyrexian Censor. That's more like it. Just leave my mana untapped. I think I'll let them hit me with the Spellstalker if they equip an attack. So if I bring something back and then I scroll shift it, I get to keep it. That's interesting. I don't know that that's worth doing as opposed to just using scroll shift to keep Ayara around. Oh, I can scroll shift the Ayara to get it back to the other side so I can sack it. That might be interesting to do at some point as well. That seems like it's going to make it very hard for them to win. We're going to have a 2-2. Attentive Sky Warden. I think I can do better. That's better. This is not a very good hand on the draw. I'm going to mull. This is a better hand. Obviously, I need to draw planes. Hey, I drew planes. I want to play the Sky Warden just because it seems so likely to die. And if I play it, they can also just not even attack with the Gorilla, and if I don't draw land for this, then there's not much going on. That's a scary thing. Goodbye, Sky Warden. Still only taking 2 a turn. My hand's gonna be really powerful if I get the time to deploy at all. It's really just gonna come down to how good the cards they're finding off their Stormclaw Rager are. That's the one I was hoping for. Hopefully I draw a land next turn. If I draw a land next turn, it's going to be great. If I draw a land, I think I'll be in really good shape. I'm really trying to leave Angelic Intervention up. Seems like they gotta have something, but I don't really want to let the Invasion of Azgul flip this turn, and I don't want to use my cut short on either of those creatures, so this is where we're at. Turned out they didn't have something. They just suicide attacked. They did not. They can get back a drag recycler should they so choose. I think if they're willing to send the Rager at the Invasion of Argal this turn, I'm gonna just let him flip it. They were unwilling to do that. I'm gonna wait for a 6th land probably before I play the Sculpted Perfection. I basically just don't want to get Furnace Raised at this point. Got a lot of lands. That is kind of what happens sometimes with Stormcloud Rager, though. Like, it's nice that you're converting your Rouse Reinforcements into 2 cards, but it is going to tend to make you flood eventually. Just kill the Rager. Yeah. If they block, I'm going to give it -2/-2. It's another gorilla. Are they going to feed the gorilla to the Rager? They can draw a card of their choice, which they don't really have very good choices. Guess they could get a Flitting Gorilla back for a loop. Establish a loop. I'm gonna leave a land on top if I see one. Yes. Okay, if they do that in response, I think I'm still leaving a land on top though. Sure. I know I could have potentially killed them by putting this on one of my creatures on green, but if they have an instant in their hand, like, I put them right back in the game. Whereas this way, if they have like Invasion of Fiora as their top card, they probably wouldn't even win from that spot, to be honest, but I did give them an extra draw step to play around them having like Deadly Derision or Final Flourish. That's a pretty good one. It's not going to be good enough to save them, but it is a pretty good one. Nope. I think I can do better than that. So I got to see that they had a Chandra. Chandra is a nice one to know about. I don't know that you really play around it very effectively. They had Volcanic Spite, Shatter the Source, Final Flourish, Vanquish the Weak. I don't really have anything in the way of sideboard cards against that stuff, do it. So you can Realmbreaker's Grasp. No, you can't hit Planeswalkers. Could board in Render Inert. You can render inert Planeswalkers. They also had, like, rendering a Rager is not the greatest play in the world, but it might be something I would do. Is Thalia going to be helpful or not? I'm going to play it on turn 2. I think it's probably, well, I don't think it's going to hinder me that much because I drew a decent amount of lands. And I've got creatures to play the next 2 turns. If I don't have a 5th land, it's a little bit awkward with Gift of Completion the turn I play that. Or it's just going to die right away. That thing's immortal. I guess Squee plus the Rager's kind of a cool combo. What do you got for me? That's actually pretty nice. It is not worth it to Alabaster Host Intercessor the Squee. They can just play it right from Out of Exile. I mean, it's a way to make them spend 3 mana, potentially, but it's not really a very good play. I'll probably just go after the gorilla. Could have Volcanic Spite to finish this off. Can't really do anything about that though. Phyrexian Samurai. You don't see that every day. They definitely have Volcanic Spite. Yuck, gross.
This war ends today.
Come on, scry me to render inert.
To a crisp should be enough.
Sideboarding for the win.
I'm all out of fuel.
I'm going to hold this in my hand 1 turn for in the Zoomian format, potentially taking it. So when they exile, so I'm not going to flip it this turn. Can this get Planeswalkers back? That would be sick if it could. It cannot. I have 22 cards left. They just mill an Urabrask and a Stormclaw Rager. Those are some good ones. They are certainly some good ones. It's probably going to take Stormclaw Rager. Start getting Stormclaw Rager Squee going. Also, they have white mana now. It's mana value, so I can just nug him for 5 with Firja if I want. Instead, I'm going to be nugging them for 0 to prevent them from drawing a card. And I also get a Surveil off of this. Take a Collective Nightmare. Could be worse. So if they eat another creature, if they eat the Skittering Surveyor to make this thing a 4/4, I'm going to flip the Iara, bring back it, Alabaster Host Intercessor, exile it. Now what do I want to do? Might just want to kill the Rager and attack with both. If I flip this... Yeah. If I flip it, I'm not going to have enough mana to speed up Angelic Intervention, which I think should be a priority for this turn. Now this turn I can start getting back Intercessors and potentially attacking through Squee. I have 15 cards left. If I take the Squee, it forces them to chump with the Flitting Gorilla. Actually, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't force them to chump, but it incentivizes them to chump. If I take the Flitting Gorilla, they just chump the Iara with the Squee. Monastery Mentor is why they have white in their deck. Their deck looks pretty good. They didn't even bring anything back. I guess they thought they would just be locking in a loss if they put a creature on top. That's a pretty great sword. It's not going to do anything. I have another Intercessor in my graveyard. Also, I could just Angelic Intervention if I needed to. Hooray! Okay. This is probably another one. Turn 1 Scornblade Berserker. Especially when I have Angelic Intervention. It's nice to have a body in play in case I wind up with a good spot to use it. Also, I can just block these 1/1s. With 4 lands already, I'm probably just going to hold this. Captain Lannery Storm. You are going to be dead to Angelic Intervention. Guess there's no reason to wait here. I suppose if they have Collective Nightmare, maybe I just screwed myself. Well, screwed myself. I'd take 3 damage. Tap land. Please don't kill my Sky Warden. Never, ever, ever lives. Ooh, we have a backup. I played this last turn over Sculpted Perfection just because it's a more upside. And the amount of mana they have, they probably aren't getting to both kill the Sky Warden and make another play, or another high impact play. It's a good chunk of damage. All right. I'll probably just block the Scald with the Berserker and sack it to get my card back. Vision of Asgul. Goodbye, Attentive Sky Warden. It was fun while you were hanging around, but now you're dead. That's kind of annoying. If they put the counter on the Fearless Scald, I can't vanquish the Weak-It. You going face? Okay, I'll take 3. Just going to block the Fearless Scald with the Alabaster Host Intercessor. If they have a removal spell for the Alabaster Host Intercessor, I'm pretty close to dead. Come on, 2 lands in their hands still. Lands resolve. It's not 2 lands. It's not nothing all that scary. Guess I'll just play my land. I don't think I have enough instants in my hand that I want to hold a land in case I draw an instant that I then want to be able to protect from an Izumian Formant. I think it's better just get my land into play. even from this spot, my deck might possibly be able to draw enough stuff to do with its mana to spend it all. This was a very awkward draw for them to have. I'm glad I have the Thalia. To make the killing the front half less painful, but they can still, if they want, just make it, what, a 5/5? 6/6? A 5/5. Hopefully that's all they're thinking about. Not they drew a removal spell and they're thinking about which thing to kill. Alright. I do need to stop drawing lands. Drew 9 lands, 8 spells so far. I think they have Corrupted Conviction in their hand. I'm wrong. I think they had Shatter the Source. Still Final Flourish left in my deck and Realmbreaker's Grasp. Take 5. Spell. Remember when I said I wanted a spell? I think this was 4 lands in a row. It's unfortunate. Probably means they have another spell to cast this turn. No. That was way too many lands. 11 lands, 8 spells. That's not a good distribution. They have Shatter the Source. They have Fearless Scald. Energy Storm, Vanquish the Weak. I don't think I saw enough that I want to board in Render Inert. Do I want Failed Conversion? Failed Conversion is good against that. Well, it's an answer to Furnace Gremlin that's clean. I don't know that I would say it's good, but it's something. This was a pretty convenient draw. Now I'll be able to play Iara and then probably just play the Blight Reaper Thallid. I'll just trade if they attack here. This is going well. The duck? You hope to face me with the mere duck? I don't think I want to trade my Ayara for the duck. Thalia was pretty awkward for me that turn. Can't really say if it's affected their play at all yet. I think I would trade Ayara for an upgraded duck, though. Should I? Guess so. This is a close decision. Because I would get 3 damage on the crackback, probably. They're just chumping? Weird. They can't even have Invasion of Fiora, they don't have enough mana. Even with a land, they'll be one short because of the Thalia. I will not block Captain Lannery Storm here should it attack. My priority should be to play in a way that I win through Invasion of Fiora. So I'm going to put them to 1 here. I could flip this, but I think I'm just going to play a second Gift of Completion instead. Learn anything new of note? This is certainly a marginal hand. Because we're playing best of 3, there's no hand smoother. Normally if you play best of 1 on the ladder, the hand smoother removes almost all of the 5-land 2-spell hands. I think this is a good enough one. I've got a good 2-drop, and I've got an okay 5-mana play. This 2-drop does get in the way of my 5-mana play, but it's a decent chance it will just be dead by the time we get around to it. This is another creature to incubate 3. So they can double up with the Furnace Gremlin. Gross. Did not enjoy. Man, if I just drawn these 2 cards in the other order, I would be in such better shape. This thing can sack artifacts. That's going to be a problem. No. Had some pretty good top decks in the second round. This game, or this match, I have not drawn very well at all. Unless my goal is to just draw 1,000,000 lands. That was actually a pretty good draw. All the sideboard cards against me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Should have boarded in more stuff to deal with this Furnace Gremlin. Really could use my Realmbreaker's Grasp. Yeah, I kept 5 lands, 2 spells, and I did surveil 2 lands to my yard. But this was just a crazy amount of lands to draw. I don't think I can come back from that. Actually, I think I'm just dead. Alright, they can do the +2 ability, right? Yeah. That's way too many lands. This is not enough lands. Okay. I'm getting a Plains and then playing the Censor next turn. I do have a Glistening Deluge in my sideboard. It's probably going to be real good against my opponent's deck. I'm willing to trade here if they're interested. Censor's actually kind of hurting me. That's not how I drew it up. Doesn't seem like a very good attack. Is this thing a Phyrexian? No. Can potentially use Aetherblade Agent plus Angelic Intervention to kill Thalian the Gitrog monster. I have a lot of Surveils left though, and that I have some better answers in my deck than that. Trying to do that. Didn't find any of them. Acid Rotten Tail. This ain't going great. Alright, so I'm going to board in Failed Conversion and Glistening Deluge. Goodbye, Attentive Sky Wardens. And maybe I'll keep one Sky Warden, cut a Host Sanctifier. Should probably have Render Inert in my deck too. Just kills this thing outright. Thinking about whether I want the Ichor Shade. I think I like all my other cards better. So I'm a pretty controlling deck now, but I think that's going to be good against their deck. Just need to hope to like a runaway Thalion to get Rog Monster, who's annoying. I have some answers to it, but I don't have a ton. I did just board it one more. I like the way this game is starting. They mulled. They used a cantrip to kill their 2-drop. And I have a very good mix of lands and spells. I'm just going to trade with their 3/3 here. It'll prevent them from being able to do a double block on this 4/4 I'm going to be attacking with next turn. Okay, they didn't even, they just took the damage. I don't know if that's because they're trying to set up a double block or they thought I might have something. I don't know. That's yet another one of the reasons why in spots where you're not really sure whether or not you want to attack and offer the trade, you almost always should, because your opponent might choose not to trade. I think there's a lot of stuff going on, huh? If they have a land, they're going to get the Herbology Instructor, which is... It would have been nice to be able to prevent that, but I think it's better to just use my mana efficiently. I think I'm happy to just keep another removal spell. So this flips into a 4/4 that can kill my token. Maybe I should have used Realmbreaker's Grasp to prevent that, because I'm going to Realmbreaker's Grasp it now, but I'm also going to flip that thing. Oh, that's a good card. Glad I didn't use my Realmbreaker's Grasp. I can have like Cosmic Hunger to not... I guess they're not going to die here anyway, because they're going to get a little block. Sadly, that thing's a 4/4. Is this a Phyrexian? It is. So I definitely want Failed Conversion in my deck, given that they have Atraxa in addition to the Gitrog monster. Other than that, everything seemed fine. Good in my deck. Please don't play Atraxa or the Gitrog monster. I don't think I can beat either of them. Alright, I'll take that. I don't think I need a second copy of you. So my creatures are going to enter the battlefield tapped. I don't even have that many creatures in my deck. It's a lot of enchantments that make creatures at this point. So if I Collective Nightmare that, they can sack. Is this a Phyrexian? No. The deck has a lot of rares in it. I guess they still get a 1/1 from Norn's Inquisitor if they animate that thing now. Those are some good ones. What the hell? Please be out of stuff. By killing the brawler there, I'm preventing it from getting the chance to grow, which I did not want to happen. That wasn't the stuff that dreams are made of. I guess it's better than drawing all 3 of those lands in a row, though. I didn't want to make that guy big. It's going to be a little bit tough to get out of. Alright, cut short actually helps a lot. So I can get rid of this Hunt Master. Oh, I guess I kind of screwed up. Attacking here. Just my guy's just getting eaten. It's not ideal. Do get the surveil value. I don't think that's good enough. Need to find my sculpted perfection. I want to hold the scroll shift because they're gonna instructor the agent. It's going to come into play tapped. Man, I screwed this game up bad. Just needed to not attack last turn. I go block, block, take 11. I can't afford to take 11. Damn it. No, I'm just dealing. Man, I played this game pretty bad. Miscounted my mana. Oh well. No second draft for me. That was a well-deserved loss.